Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning outlook video on Tuesday the 20th of March. Now we've got a brief period of milder temperatures through the middle part of this week, but freezing levels will drop again towards this weekend and a cool, showery northwesterly air mass will be across the country. Next week is rather changeable and the indications towards the Easter period once again are looking cold and perhaps rather unsettled as well. Let's run through the temperature charts, and this is the 850 millibar level. That's between around 4,500 and 5,000 feet in the atmosphere. The numbers on the white backgrounds that you'll see represent the height in decameters. Add a zero and you've got it in meters, so you can see where we're going in terms of the heights. At the moment, this level is just above the higher Scottish summits. Now, we've got around a 36-hour period coming up of temperatures above freezing, even to higher levels as milder air from the Atlantic just comes in. So some thawing even on the higher slopes, but do bear in mind that higher terrain is extensively frozen, maybe some icy areas where there is any melting of the surface snow. As we go through later Thursday into Friday, though, freezing levels will begin to drop again as a cold front comes in from the west and values on the higher tops dropping below freezing. I think freezing levels dropping to between around 800 and 1,000 metres as we go through Friday. And that sort of range, maybe losing a little bit down to say between 700 and 900 metres, will be the story through the weekend. Highest freezing levels for the Pennines and Wales, lowest across northwest Scotland. And when showers come in, we may find that freezing levels drop a little bit further. Similar picture then throughout this weekend, not a great deal changing. Early next week may just see a brief lift in freezing level come in from the southwest, just a tongue of milder or less cold air briefly in, but I think short-lived as we see a lowering of freezing level again in the middle part of next week and just running more towards the Easter period. This is the later part of next week. As low pressure moves eastwards and just draws in more of a northerly airstream, you can see temperatures falling away, maybe back down to say 600 metres or lower. In some places at that freezing level, higher tops could be back towards -5. Now there's plenty more detail for the next 3 days updated daily at the Mountain Weather website. All the written files have your local information. Just to run through the synoptic charts though, and here's Wednesday. We've got a warm sector moving in from the Atlantic, those fronts coming in with lowering cloud, a more damp air mass, so some murky conditions across western mountains, outbreaks of rain, preceded by some snow but becoming rain up to higher levels, most persistent in the West Highlands, highest cloud bases towards the eastern side of the Scottish Highlands, and the least in the way of rainfall, blustery winds up to gale force for a time on higher areas. South or southwesterly winds in place for Thursday, again blustery up to gale force perhaps in some areas for at least part of the day, a tangle of fronts coming in from the Atlantic, maybe not amounting to a great deal for many places, but a rather murky, damp air mass in place, lowest cloud away towards western coast, higher breaks towards say the northern Cairngorms, I think, northern Lake District maybe too during Thursday, damp conditions, maybe some heavier rain coming in from the west later on. Now a cold front will move its way eastwards Thursday night into Friday, so a cooler day by Friday, a wraparound of a front and low pressure over northern Scotland with areas of showers coming down on the higher mountains as snow back to say 700 or 800 metres in some places. Difficult day for details, could be again blustery winds for at least part of the day. I think wettest conditions across the western mountains, particularly in Scotland. Now for Saturday, low pressure is towards the north and a showery westerly airstream is in place. Most frequent showers towards western Scotland, sunshine and showers elsewhere. Maybe some frequent snow or hail coming into western Scotland at times, winds gusting up to gale force. Away from the showers though, cloud bases should break to higher areas. Reasonable visibility then with a fairly clear westerly air mass in place. Something similar into Sunday, just watch your details at this distance, but low pressure basically is towards the north, a west or northwesterly wind is around. Again, sunshine and showers most frequent across the western Scottish mountains. There could be local bands of showers elsewhere for a few hours, and that mix of snow and possible hail coming down at times. Looking into the start of next week, and it looks as though that low towards the north just pulls eastwards, but the next area of low pressure coming in off the Atlantic brings some further unsettled conditions into the early middle part of the week. Milder temperatures again for a time, just coming in on southwesterly winds, but I think that'll be short-lived as freezing levels once again lower into midweek. Low pressure over the North Atlantic between Greenland and Iceland then becomes the more noticeable feature, which will tend to swing in towards the British Isles as the week goes on. I think eventually towards the Easter period it'll be a chillier air mass and a rather cyclonic situation where areas of showers are moving around slowly. Which leaves us with that general trend for that 7-day period running through up until the 2nd of April. Low pressure parked somewhere around northwestern Europe as a whole, and the air circulating around it and drawing in something from the north or maybe even the northeast for a time. Wind direction on any one day, crucial then as to who sees the most of the showers. A fairly unsettled trend with snow or hail coming down frequently in some places. Wind speeds again will vary from day to day, but I think that idea of being chilly, cooler than average conditions really through this period, and that sort of picture may continue into the early part of April. So whilst there will be some freeze and thaw cycles over the next week or so, it looks as though winter conditions will still be very much in place towards that Easter weekend, and there could even be some fresh snowfalls to fairly low levels by the time we get there as well. We'll update this planning video for you again on Friday. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.